Emerson, man, a lot of things to throw at you in a matter of moments or seconds or minutes, 15 to be exact. But let's just talk about the excitement overall, man. Of course, you're doing multiple media days. There's scrambling of trying to get people to talk to you. How exciting is this entire process for you right now?
It's great, man. I'm really excited about it. Lionsgate's doing an amazing job. I'm super happy. I think it's a great home for the film. You know, it was my first choice, so yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Definitely, Emerson, let's talk about that for just a brief moment. Lionsgate being, a powerhouse of amazing blockbusters and just amazing content which has come out, whether we're talking about the John Wick series. I think they're even responsible for the Hunger Games and all those films too, right? But just to be a part of that association, I know you announced it on social media when it was picked up, multi-platform, just all that excitement. Why did Lionsgate feel like a perfect fit for you?
Boy, I mean, yeah, they have a long history of films that are in this genre. I would say that are in this lane, as well as they're a director's destination. So they've treated me so well, super engaging and really trying to steer the film in the exact direction that I'm going. And they're a great partner. It's a great partner to be with. That's for sure. I mean, come on, Cabin Fever on down the line. Oh,
exactly. And one thing I gotta throw at you, Emerson, is watching this film, man. I like from the trailer alone, it's crazy. I get Squid Game feeling, I get Escape Room, I get Field of Dreams, I get a bunch of different things. So let's just kind of go in reverse mode. The concept, I know there's a couple other writers involved, but putting this together, was it a late night? You guys were just throwing ideas around? How in the world did this fun, nonstop adventure basically come together?
We've been working on it for a few years, and it just all, it all congealed and got a draft done, took it to Cannes, met with some different partners, landed right where we were supposed to land, and we were about to go, and the pandemic happened. I thought, this isn't happening. And the next thing you know, I'm in the middle of a cornfield in September of 2020 in the heat of the pandemic. So there were challenges that were presented, but that's the short version. That's how it happened. So, blessed to be able to work during that time and get this film done. So that's the backstory.
Gotcha. And just as a filmmaker, but more so on a more personal note, what is your favorite genre of film? And because nowadays you got the Marvel universe, the superhero, the thrillers, the dramas, but just you, I guess both as a filmmaker, maybe just in your personal life, what do you kind of find yourself latching on to viewing for personal?
Gosh, there's a lot of early films that kind of shape the stuff that I gravitate towards. But I'm a huge horror thriller fan. I'll go watch. I'll get drawn into Haunting a Hill House in 3 seconds. That's easy. And Flanagan's work's amazing. Or and more current films would be like I know it's like 20 years old now, which is insane. But like The Ring, I remember. And I mean, Gore just killed that movie. It's so elevated. It's completely a scary film, but beautifully told visually, which I think that stuff started ramping the game up. And you start looking at things like The Conjuring, and I mean, that movie is terrifying, and no one dies. It's
exactly.
It's fantastic. So that's the stuff that I lean towards, and then anything with a great characters and a strong story, and you'll get me.
Definitely, and just going to the actual production of Escape the Field, definitely just talk about, I don't want to say the biggest challenge, but maybe just kind of looking back at it, like some things that, of course, the pandemic, but I mean, you're literally in a cornfield. I think it was Canada, right? You guys were out there in Canada?
Yep, outside Toronto.
Yeah. So just talk about like the filmmaking process. Of course, there was probably natural nerves because of the pandemic, but just the production of this, and this is before Lionsgate was even involved. So I can only imagine all the out-of-pocket stuff that you were just trying to piece together. Just talk about that experience as a whole, man.
Yeah, it was that aspect of it was a challenge. There were no company moves, so I had to do everything within that space. With the pandemic happening and the restrictions that we had, there, we weren't moving to like a stage. I couldn't go shoot, inserts on a stage. I couldn't go to this location or that location, or previous plans that I had had. So I had to make do just in the cornfield. So everything that you see in that film was shot in that cornfield. We didn't go anywhere else. So
Yeah.
Having watched the film and knowing that, you're like, whoa, I mean, we literally built everything that you see out in the middle of a field. That was the biggest challenge, was actually, oddly enough, being trapped in a cornfield, making a film about being trapped in a cornfield. So that kind of, life imitating art, I guess, in that aspect. We shot single camera just to keep the crew. And then just the bubbles and the whole, all of our protocols and those restrictions put into place, coupled with the restrictions of shooting in that single location. That was the biggest hurdle. But at the same time, it was extraordinarily fun. And what a great group of people to be trapped with. The crew was amazing. Everyone on board the film was spectacular and really went the extra mile. And man, the cast, bold. I mean, they really went for it in every aspect. And I enjoyed, being trapped with them, at the hotel. It was just us at the hotel or in the field. And, we were all a giant family for several weeks.
Yeah, and that was actually going to be my follow-up. Basically with so many amazing actors and actresses, from a lot of them with TV back history to be put into a film, just, juggling those personalities. Of course, with the pandemic, I gotta imagine that close knit. Like, I feel like you guys are forever bonded just due to that experience.
Totally, we're still on group text. It was really spectacular and fun, and there was a lot of passion. Everybody really cares about this movie, so it's been a lot of fun. Friends for life.
Gotcha. Just a few more things I want to talk about you, Emerson. I got to ask you, man, because I am a movie goer, and I know you are too, man. I was looking at your IG, and I forget which location, the Pacific Theater, or there was a Pacific Theater. You're like, oh no, they're closed. There's so many good memories.
Oh, the Cinerama Dome. Yeah, it's terrible.
In LA.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Exactly.
It's iconic.
And I'm just like you. Like, for me, I just love that theater experience. But I actually feel like this is one of those films that it works either way. If you're able to, if you're in the New York area like I am, you can go to a fun theater. And I think that's one great thing about Lionsgate. They maybe have an AMC relationship where they can get some of those films, some screenings, which also works out amazingly. But with this film, being able to see it on the screener, I actually enjoyed it in the comfort of my house. I had a female companion with me, and it was, for review purposes, no, it was just me by myself. But nonetheless, it was an amazing experience, and I was shocked. I was like, I really wanted to see it on the big screen, but I actually enjoyed the comfort of being at home. So just as a filmmaker, of course, you want to get out to everybody, no matter how they see it, you want them to see it, but just kind of personally, big screen, at home with family and friends. How do you envision it?
It plays really well in the theater. I've seen it a few times on the big screen, and you engage much quicker. I mean, at home viewing's great. It plays well there as well. So I encourage everybody to watch it both. Go try each. So good.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I'll do one more thing at you, Emerson, then I promise I'll hop on out here, man. Let me ask you, there's so many questions, man. I get I do get answers, but this is the type of film that you get either or. I can see a sequel, obviously, or I can even see a prequel. Maybe you haven't even thought that far in advance, but was that intentional? Do you have, seeing how the results are, do you have maybe, what's next in this, if it just hits Squid Game level, possibly?
Yeah, I know where it's going. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.